Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And the news reports are coming out that the Greens are in disarray. They are, in fact, a nasty, insidious, cancerous bunch of really awful people. We all know this, we've seen them, but this is what they're saying within their own ranks. People from within the Greens believe they're living in a state of fear within the Green Party. Now remember, the Greens themselves are already an extremist party. They are pseudo-Marxist, but they're being led by two rather even more extreme, radical, hate-filled, nasty, narcissistic, arrogant, incompetent buffoons who cannot read a room, who do not understand what human reactions are. They literally are incapable of understanding humanity. They think they live in a virtuous world, and they keep pushing the most awful extremism and accept people or demand that people accept it. But they are incapable of understanding that people loathe what they're doing and loathe them personally for it. And this is their own party members. It's grand. Let's take a look and see how bad it is for Jeffrey and the imp, the wankers of the Greens. Here goes. Now, we all do so enjoy running down the Greens because they are absolutely bonkers and dangerous. The only good thing is we know that none of their policies ever work. They are complete failures. Everything they've done falls apart. And so we can laugh at them, knowing that they'll soon be gone, perhaps for good, from politics. So, woohoo, bring it on. The only problem is all the damage they do until they're out. But we can all help to highlight the problems, and the easiest way for you to do that is to hit that subscribe button and press the like button, and really help the channel, because we need to get the truth out there, especially the truth about these two buffoons. Patrick Harvie and Lorna Slater oversee culture of censure and fear in the Scottish Greens. It's literally my way or the highway, and I don't want to go their way. Members claim they are punished if they speak out on controversial issues, especially relating to gender. What they want in the Greens is, you must not have an opinion of your own. You must only have Patrick Harvie's opinion and no one else's. And that's it. That's it. You've got Patrick, who is a nasty, hate-filled tosser who supports the killers of babies, be they Hamas or the IRA. You have Jeffrey, who hasn't got a clue. Everything she touches turns to complete shit. She is like the anti-Midas, if you will. She turns gold to shit simply by touching it. It's without fail. I'm going to say without fail, she fails. That's all she does. I realise how stupid that sounds, but yeah, that's all she does. Fail after fail after fail. The woman hasn't got a clue. She doesn't understand what intelligence is. She doesn't understand causation. She doesn't understand consequences. She doesn't understand people. And she's the nice one. Him, on the other hand, wow, what a nasty little turd he truly is. Anyway, Patrick Harvie and Lorna Slater are presiding over a culture of censure and fear in the Scottish Greens, with members scared to speak their minds on controversial subjects, such as gender issues. That is according to columnist Mark Smith, who's spoken to Green members about the state of the party. And boy, is the party in a state. One former member said she doesn't believe open debate is possible. Of course not. Of course not. Because the Greens have gone the same way as the SNP. It is a dictatorship. You do as you're told. You are not to question anything. Marxist, one-party state ideology. Tell you all along, they're Marxists. Another believes that discussion is not permitted. The damning accusation comes after the party's co-chair of their executive committee, Ellie Gomersall, quit, citing increased fractionalisation, hostility and toxicity. Any organisation that has the imp in it will be toxic, because he is cancer. In fact, if you were a cancerous tumour and you had a cancer yourself, that cancer would be Harvie. He is the sort of cancer that a cancerous tumour would get. He's that toxic. He really is. Mr Harvie and Miss Slater, both Scottish Government ministers, although no one knows why. released a statement after the resignation saying there had been an increase in factionalism and hostile behaviour. They used attacks on Ross Greer as proof of this. But Ross Greer is worthy of an attack. The child has done nothing with his life. He's never had a job. He's never passed a qualification. He's done nothing, knows nothing, and to be honest, looking at him, is nothing. And yet he sits there with the arrogance of youth, telling people who've lived very wide and varied and experienced lives how they should be, how shall they act, how they should live their lives. And I say to Ross Greer, GFY. But anyway, in writing in the Herald, Mr. Smith said, the Greens I've spoken to say there is an atmosphere of censure and fear, and what is needed is open, respectful debate. But the statement issued by Mr. Harvey and Miss Slater is not a good sign in that respect. Of course not. They're odious little sharks, aren't they? He suggests the pair's issues may actually be with the idea of debate itself, adding what they say in the statement is that there's been an increase in factionalism, but what they're actually referring to is an increase in disagreement, particularly on trans issues. In other words, in apparently raising concerns about toxicity, they're really just trying to tighten their clamp on the censure that even further. But tell me, what has all this got to do with green issues and the environment, which is what the Greens were supposed to be? Nothing. Nothing at all. Stick to hugging your trees and eating your tofu and keep out of other people's lives. Mr. Smith used the example of former member Mary McCullum Sullivan, who was expelled after posting gender-critical messages on social media. He said she was booted out with no debate. No, that's it. You've just said that. You're out. You lose it. There he is. Look, the most manly man. The ginger twiglet. Still lives with mummy. Still gets a bit of bitty from time to time, I suspect. And I guarantee, and I will bet the farm on this one, that he was bullied at school. And you can tell, because of the way he acts, the way he sounds, he's got his tiny bit of power now. And he's exerting it. Look at me. I am mighty. Bow down before the great Greer. What a prick. Another member said, this is Helga Rhine, I'm going to pronounce, says she was shot down for suggesting a debate on gender issues. Mr. Smith adds, perhaps if they were to encourage debate, they would reduce the hostility some members and former members may be feeling about the state of their party. No, please don't. Please don't. Please keep it as it is. Please keep it as a hostile, closed, nasty, divisive, factionalised, rotten to the core, cancerous party. But make sure everybody knows it. Spread the word, spread the message, and show people what these people are like. What many Greens are saying is that they have concerns about how the party operates, but the leadership is unwilling to listen to those concerns and may dismiss those who express them as toxic. But what's really toxic is an attempt to smother disagreement. Oh yeah, if you say anything that Harvey doesn't like, you become the extremist. You are a figure of hate because you dared to shout down or disagree with the cancerous little imp of shit. But apparently a lot of people do disagree with the cancerous little imp of shit. And it's fun to watch. He is a degenerate, isn't he? What was that guy yelled at him the other day? Oh, a couple of months ago now. And I can't remember the word. It'll come to somebody at deviant. I remember now. Someone shouted deviant, and he didn't like it. But he is really, isn't he? He's a strange little shark. I mean, I can understand why he's a very unhappy man. Because if I had to get up every morning and look into a mirror and see Harvey looking at me, I'd be depressed. And a friendless, joyless, worthless waste of humanity filled with hate and loathing. There's nothing redeeming about him, is there? He likes to think he's being virtuous and wonderful. Look at me as I save the planet. Look at me as I push these rights. Look at me, everybody. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. No, Harvey, you're a vertical turd in a suit. You're toxic, you're nasty, you're vicious, you're vindictive. You don't want to debate. You don't want anyone to disagree with you because you're quite incapable of accepting that other people are human beings with their own views. You are the product of a society that literally loathes itself. You're a green. You loathe everything. And that's the problem. And now you're up there. You've got your little bit of power and you're like, you want to exert it. Oh, you're a shit. Soon be out, and then nobody will ever listen to you again, and you stamp your tiny feet as you go around the bars of Edinburgh, claiming to be famous. I was famous once. No, you were infamous once, and you were infamous for one reason. Being the biggest tit that ever sat in Holyrood. Anyway, Miss Gomersall, who is transgender, quit her role earlier this month. I did not say that before. I remember talking about it, and I did mean to mention it. Anyway, Gomersall, who you've got to say now, I disagree and all, but you've got to say when anyone would know about the conversation to be had, it would be Gomersall. But Harvey shut that conversation down because Harvey doesn't want to hear anything that Harvey doesn't want to hear. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, said, unfortunately, so much of my time in this role has been spent attempting to navigate and mediate interpersonal disputes and feuds, and many of which are lingering or resurfaced disputes from long before I was even an active party member. Of course, the whole party was built on hate, division and fear. There is no one in that party that's in any way human. I mean, look at the three of them, right? You've got Harvey the Imp, who, like I say, just filled with hate. You've got Geoffrey, knows fuck all. And then you've got Ross Greer, who is the most charmless oik you've ever met. Listen to me, I'm Ross Greer, and I'm in charge, and I know everything. You know, fuck all. Anyway, it's nice to see the party in disarray. It's nice to see everyone's realising what a toxic bunch of pricks they truly are. And yet, Alibaba still kissing their arse, kissing the ring, and keeping them in government. It's time for them to go. Send them back whence they came. Find some rock and put them under there. Especially the Imp. Send him back. I'm sure there's a church he could be standing on, spouting crap out of his mouth. Geoffrey can go back to Australia. No, Canada. I knew it's Canada. Geoffrey can go back to Canada. And Ross Greer, well, he can go back to school, can't he? Anyway, I'll stop and I'll come up. I do like a good rant, a good vent. I feel better for that. And I hope you do too. Hit the subscribe button. Coming up. There you see, there you go. That was a pleasant little rant, wasn't it? Didn't get angry. Just got a little bit annoyed. Called it out as it is. Told the truth. We can all see. They're absolute arseholes, aren't they? But they need to stay as they are. Do not change them. Won't change them for the world. They're so much value for money. And the longer they're there, the more videos I do on these people. And the more that everyone sees how nasty they are. We need them to get a good wipeout at the next election. Don't forget, of course, they're a party that at Westminster had only ever won one seat, and that's in the bonkers place of Brighton. At Holyrood have never won a seat. They're only there now because they're on the lists. I mean, Labour, when it comes in, needs to do a constitutional change, because Labour will, probably anyway, will almost certainly, probably, maybe, be the next government of, Holyrood. And they need to change the rules to say that only constituency MSPs, only constituency MSPs can be ministers. And that will end the problem of having extremists in government. And it also end the career, really, of Geoffrey and the Imp and the Ginger Twiglet. And I'll stop there. Thank you very much. I hope this has been worthy of a subscription. And definitely worthy of a like. They're important too. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, keep watching. Bye.